Thanks for supporting the channel by clicking the links in the description box. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And now let's get into this podversation. Hey, what's up, everyone? We're going to have a podversation, another one, about Pastor Carl Lentz, or shall I say pastor formerly of Hillsong Church, New York, and his mistress, and I'm thinking maybe former mistress, because I don't think they're seeing each other anymore for at least the public to know, had an interview recently with Good Morning America, and she shared some details about their affair. And
did he tell you he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you love him?
It's funny, and I just wanted to talk about it because it's not funny in terms of it being hilarious or humorous, but we've talked about these things before here on this channel, where I've talked about Pastor John Gray and how he has been emotionally, he claims only emotionally, but I believe it was also physically unfaithful to his wife of many years, and how these pastors that are celebrities in some way, shape, or form, they tend to get these big heads about themselves, and they forget about the person that they married. They forget about the vows that they made. And I talked about Pastor Carl Lentz previously and how he told this woman that she reminded him of the Kardashians. So in my mind, I was thinking, I'm just wondering, because of what he shared, was this his way of vicariously having a relationship with Kim or one of the other Kardashians in some way? Because he was very strategic about his moves with this woman. She knew that he was married.
Are you married? And he said, I am, but he doesn't wear a ring. You never ever see him wearing a ring.
He told her not to Google him. Okay, so when someone says that, like, why would someone say that unless there's information that they know is out there that they don't want somebody to find out or figure out? And Google has many, many, many pages. And so unless it's something that is really like out there, you can Google almost anybody, and it doesn't mean that you're going to find out information about that person just like off of the strength of you just Googling them. You would have to do like a specific background check on someone, on most people I should say, but on somebody like him, yeah, you put his name into Google and then immediately what you're looking for, and even if you're not looking for it, it's going to be found out because it's going to pop up that he is the pastor and leader of this church.
I realized that he's the pastor from Hillsong, and I was like, oh, I was at this church like 6 years ago.
You had been to Hillsong?
One time. Only one time.
Pop up that he is a married man. Pop up that he has children. Pop up that he is the leader and spiritual advisor to people like Justin Bieber and some other celebrities. And the fact that this woman says that, you know, we loved each other. I knew he was married, but and I tried to break it off, but he just kept coming back.
And I told him, I know who you are, and I'm not here to judge you, but I have a question. I was like there's something wrong with your marriage that you sitting here with me? He said, no, it's you.
Well, I'm not one of those people that is just strictly out against the woman when they are having a relationship with a man that they shouldn't be having one with, whether they're married or they're in a committed relationship with another woman. But still, she knew that he was married. So even if she didn't know in the beginning, she found out and figured it out that when he saved her name and number in the notes section of his phone, and he said not to Google him, that something was up. But she decided to move forward with it. Yeah, he is completely wrong. He's completely wrong in everything that he did, and I guess now he's trying to work on the marriage. And it's like, why do you want to work on the marriage after? Why do you want to work on the marriage after you were found out? Because that's what he said. And it's similar to John Gray. When John Gray, in the first so-called relationship that was outside of his marriage that we knew about, because it's just what we were exposed to. There could have been things that were before that, and maybe not. We don't know. But when Pastor John Gray called the other woman, and most of us heard the recording, he said, "My wife knows. My wife knows." So now that the wife knows, now you're going to try to make it right. So when Pastor John Gray was doing the press junkets with Aventer and talking about, this was someone that they helped out, this was someone that needed assistance, this was someone that she knew, and all of these other different things, it's only after the wife finds out that now you want to try to make things work. If you know that there is a problem, then why not try to make it work instead of going to seek somebody else? So do you really want that marriage, or are you only trying to make it work off of the strength of you're just trying to save face and you don't want to be the one on the losing end? Because in most situations, when that other party is found to be the one that has committed adultery or has been with someone else and you've wrecked the marriage, then you're the one that has to pay the penalty. And obviously, I don't know anything about his wife, but obviously he was the one that was the main breadwinner. And now he's put them all, his wife and children and household, in a horrible situation because he got fired from the church. Unlike Pastor John Gray, who has his own church, probably at some point, maybe this guy could start his own church, but I don't really know how many people are going to go and follow him, because Hailey Bieber, who was following him on social media, she unfollowed him on social media. So she unfollowed him on social media. I don't know how many people are going to follow him to his church that he could create or may try to create. I don't know, just putting that out there. But with this situation, she's now coming out. She's probably going to try to profit off of the situation in some way. It's just the age that we live in, guys, where people can be wrong, people can make the wrong choices and the wrong decisions, but if they have a look about themselves, if their look is marketable, if it gains them followers and they can become an influencer, which I think is just really ridiculous in some way, then they're going to try to monetize it. So I do believe that she did have a motive for coming out and speaking and doing this interview on Good Morning America. I mean, let's just be real. She wasn't doing it because she was trying to repent and, turn from her evil, wicked ways. And I have sinned against this relationship and I need to repent of my sins. Like, no, she was like, yeah, I saw that he was the pastor of Hillsong Church. And yeah, I knew about the church. I went there once, like 6 years ago. She could care less. She could care less about the church. She could care less about religion. She could care less about these things. She was in it for what she could get from it. And like I said in my previous conversation, because they are doing an investigation. They didn't just fire him. The church is also doing an investigation. I believe that there's going to be some finances that they're going to have found flowing towards this woman from his pockets, which were coming from the church. Period. If I'm wrong, then I'll come out and say it later. But I truly believe that he was definitely feeding her financially. And so it wasn't just about the love that she claims that they had or the wild, passionate nights. And no, she didn't say that they were having that. But I'm quite sure that he was getting a return on his investment, or shall I say the church's investment, because that money that she was getting the favor of was definitely flowing from the finances of the people who donate to the church.
When you give somebody so much power, they become God to people. And I think people forgot the concept of religion and beliefs. And I think that people look at Carl like he's God to them.
So we all know that Aventer Gray, at this time at least, she is staying with John Gray. But he has his own church. He still has, for whatever reason, a good number of people that still follow him and still go to his church. But this guy, Pastor Carl Lentz, he was fired from the church. He was fired. He was an employee. He didn't have his own church. So I guess we'll see if she's going to stay with this guy. I don't know, but I would love to know what you guys think. So definitely let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section.